Hi, I'm Dexter.
And I'm Liam. Welcome to What Now?
What Now is all about providing the kinds of information that help one navigate life and life changes. For this week's episode is to provide you with support, information, encouragement, and inspiration during this time and beyond.
We have called it the Coronation Edition because right now we're all going through a very tough period as we come to grips with the coronavirus pandemic and how it's affecting our lives in every way. Each week we're going to be offering some tips, tricks, and guidance across what we see as the three pillars or foundations to see us through this period. These are the things that are going to keep you grounded. They, namely, your mental, spiritual, and physical pillars.
And this week we're focusing on the first of those three pillars, your mental health. Right now you're likely cooped up inside like we are. Liam, you're cooped up, right?
I'm definitely cooped up. It may not look like it right now. I mean, I've got like a completely open space. However, I really am cooped up. Cool. Alone, I might add.
Oh, yes. And we're still adjusting to this whole thing and the ripple effects and all that information overload.
We're all probably checking the news and being bombarded with a lot of information. And how much information is too much? So to answer that exact issue and answer other questions, our first guest is Ariana Kiefer, a marriage and family therapist. She does private practice in Santa Monica. Obviously, we are working virtually at the moment. We've had to get creative in order to get this show out to you because we know that there's a need right now. We've been making use of Zoom so we can do that while we can't actually physically be in each other's presence.
And it would be more fun if we were, but hey.
It absolutely would. So we'll get used to it. I think this is a new experience for most of us.
Indeed. Well, let's go ahead and have a listen to what Ariana has to say.
Welcome, Ariana.
Thank you. Hello from Santa Monica.
Hi, Ariana. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Okay.
So we're so grateful to have you here, Ariana, at least virtually. We're all having to work virtually at the moment and looking forward to you offering us some advice and tips to our viewers.
Great.
How are you faring in the midst of all of this isolation?
I'm doing well. I'm still seeing patients virtually.
Good.
And that's how me and a lot of other therapists, nurses, and doctors are seeing people these days. So we're still, I'm up and running.
Good, and you're obviously able to continue doing the work of helping folks out. So
that's right.
That's really important at this point in time.
A lot of people obviously are in a state of panic at the moment with what's happening here in the US and globally with the novel coronavirus pandemic. What advice do you think you would give people who may perhaps be feeling some panic and anxiety at this time?
My advice would be to remind yourself that you control your panic and anxiety. I know sometimes it feels like the panic overwhelms us and takes over, but really we control our panic, and you can do a lot to help yourself out, to help other people out in your family. Carve out time to relax, do some meditation, maybe do some exercise. I personally love meditation, but it doesn't have to be that. It is everyone's responsibility, though, to kind of take time out and decompress every day, whether that's 1 minute, 2 minutes, or 30 minutes, to just find time to decompress.
I also find myself sometimes tuning out too, where I'll decide to cut down on the amount of news that I'm taking in. Is there a point where it's too much and people should actually not be over focusing on the coronavirus?
Yes, I think that there is such a thing as a news overload, and unplugging and taking it in small doses is a good thing.
How do we do that? How do we I guess, how do we know that we've got enough information without it being too much? Is it paying attention to how we are feeling, like our sort of body symptoms and things?
Yeah, I mean, if you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you feel like you're sweaty, your heart's beating fast, you feel a sense of doom, those are signs that a panic attack may happen.
Is there something that I can look for example, in my family or friends when I talk or interact with them to determine if they're really doing okay? Particularly now when we may or may not be in the same room, we may be having virtual chats like we're doing at this moment.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would, first of all, ask them how they're doing. I mean, you can ask them if they feel stressed, if they're sleeping okay, are they drinking more alcohol than usual, are they doing drugs, are they more irritable? Those are very common signs that someone's in distress.
Mm-hmm.
However, everybody deals with anxiety differently, and anxiety it's not a one size fits all for everyone.
So if somebody is feeling distress, Ariana, and they don't seem to be able to manage it themselves, what course of action do you recommend they take?
I would suggest that they call their healthcare provider and ask to speak with a therapist and have an initial appointment. If they can't get an appointment anytime soon, maybe try their local community mental health center. A lot of universities actually have sliding scale counseling, and it's usually associated with like a local university. Right now, virtual therapy is offered. It's been offered. It's called telehealth. Therapy is on a huge scale. It depends on what city they live in, what state they live in. Most county mental health centers, if somebody has like Medi-Cal or something like that, certainly they can get free counseling.
So this is obviously a difficult time for everyone too. They've been forced into constant close proximity with the people that they live with. Sometimes this can result in conflict, right?
Just expect that conflict may or will arise. That's normal. And if you can, take a break or a breather, then go ahead and do so. And if you can go outside, I think that's great. If there's no restrictions on that, go outside, go for a mindful walk by yourself, and look for something that you've never noticed before. I think that could be incredibly helpful. Another good option is just journaling independently and just recording your experience.
Perhaps even consider doing a little hobby that you've never had the time to do before. What do you think about that idea?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think this is a time to get creative. I think you need to get bored before you can get creative.
Do you have any suggestions or examples of how we can implement mindfulness?
There's a lot of great resources out there. UCLA, MARC has really great meditations that are free and pre-recorded, and a great mindfulness technique that I think is very calm, effective, is simply putting your hand over your chest and just keeping it there, and just inhaling and sighing 3 times, and just recalling a memory where you felt safe. I think that's really important right now, especially now where people feel panicky, and just kind of calming your body down. It doesn't take much effort. That can take just 2 minutes, 1 minute, putting your hand over your heart, inhaling and sighing 3 times, and recalling a memory where you felt safe. And I think that's incredibly calming and is powerful enough to shorten a panic. It'll help you sleep better at night as well. So
You
Excellent.
I actually want to put my hand over my heart and start breathing in 1, 2, 3 times. And, I guess it's kind of hard to encapsulate, but is there one biggest message that you want to give to people out there as they try to process what's happening to them right now? Do you have I don't know, just like one calming nugget that you think is most beneficial or that somebody should focus on?
I would say be kind to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Be gentle with yourself. Don't be critical with yourself. Don't blame yourself. Just be kind to yourself and those around you.
Mm.
Don't forget about your compassion.
Indeed. Thank you, Ariana. That was beautifully said, and thank you also for
Thank you.
exemplifying compassion by agreeing to come on here and chat with Liam and with me and share your wisdom with whoever might be out there facing a tough time.
Ariana, of course, is available if you do decide you want to reach out to her directly. Her email account is ariana.kiefer@gmail.com. It is written below. Feel free to reach out to her, and also we've got a list of other resources so that you may find something there that can help you and put your mind at ease.
If you have any follow-up questions for either ourselves or Ariana, do take a look at that information and reach out to us, and we'll do our very best to get back to you and answer those questions.
We have a wonderful guest in our next episode. We are going to have Sue Butner, who is a professional nanny. Now, we are going to be focusing on one of the other pillars this time, the physical pillar, in the sense of how do you organize your physical environment when things have changed and you're having to do a lot of things from home. Sue is going to address this specifically around homeschooling. She'd love to share some tips and tricks with you about how she is making that work in her life. So we're looking forward to that.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you next week. Kia kaha.
Kia kaha. And for those of you that may not know that expression, that is an expression from where I'm from in New Zealand. The Māori word, it means keep strong, something we all need to do at this time. Thanks again.
Take care, everyone.
Nothing's like you thought it would be. Who do you call when the walls tumble down? And all you can think to do is scream, what now?